how then can that what already exists can be changed in order to make changes you want to see. So if you want to look into, maybe you have something that is really in imbalance in your body, so has an overgrowth, as an example, might be a bone spur or something, any type of growth that shouldn't be there. So how is that possible that it can change without that you cut it out? So I think that is a question that I definitely had for a long time, and I have been looking, and of course in your process of going and finding the information that is helpful for you, so we're probably all in the same boat. You're looking and trying different theories and ideas on from other people. But I mean, you also probably realize that there are things you're doing, and you have quite a repertoire of experiences. And those experiences we often try to compare so and see, like, yeah, that sounds right, and let me try that. So I do always, if possible, try something practical in order to see if that what I may have heard from another person might be in the same category what I'm looking for. So if that is not, I just let it go. So that's where I'm at now. That was not in the beginning. So if you're in that sponging up, getting all what you can up mode, I encourage you to just let that go. We are more intelligent than you think. So it is, as I already stated, it is very, very difficult when you start to forget about who you are, that you do have experiences, and that you forget yourself from the inside and go in and more outside, searching on the outside for solution. Not happening, won't happen. If you forget yourself completely, it actually becomes worse and worse, because the information you're gathering up, they will be so confusing and so, I mean, opposing often, that you come to a point that I don't know anymore. Probably will happen, right? So, and that is a dangerous point, because at this point you have been too long outside of yourself. Outside means your attention went to something outside, externally. So it means also your energy is pulling more towards the outside. So you're energizing everything else but yourself in this way. So that will be somehow come as an experience for you as well. So if then sleep can't catch up, the food is not good, so you also may have gotten into a process of adjusting your new energy level. So when your energy level may shrink, make you small, then also it is easier for other energies to enter. So you're more susceptible for other people's suggestions, right? So that is understandable. And that's probably where, I mean, I know that I lived from that place, because I made myself shrink already as a child. Very much. And so it is very important that you learn where your boundaries are, to push your boundaries, the energetic boundaries, a little bit further out of you. And that is a felt experience. So when someone invades your boundaries are not walls, as you may see. This is just and knowing I am living from my core, and I have preferences, and this is my life. So what you are trying to do is in congruence with it, or it's not in congruence with it. That's a boundary that you can set. I want that, or I don't want that. So some people are have been invaded in that way, and that's a learning process for them as well, to learn to be okay that there are boundaries. They are important to you, where you need to say, this is not what I want to do. I respect that you want to do this, but I'm not a part of it. So that is of absolute importance, especially when you are already in a physical unhealthy state, or if you feel that your vital energy, that your vitality goes down. That is already a warning sign. So you want to respect those warning signs of your body and want to start to see, what is it that charges you up and what is it that pulls you down. So you want to maintain a strong boundary in this way, like a sun, right? So you want to shine what is true to you in the state you are in a hopefully more healthier state, so which is a more smiley state. So I know that a lot of people are not in that state. You don't have to put a smile on, even though if you would try it, and even if you would mimic the corner of the mouth to bring up, so even if you would try to mimic that, that would already pull you up in the energy, because also you would start to look inside, which pulls energy towards you. So we want to have a close understanding about the energetics that comes with it. And tomorrow I will go more into the information state. Because here's a fact is, looking what makes those changes. I want to be more conscious about this. I want to, personally, right? So I want to know, all right, I see that person there has a spur, right? So a bone spur. It's a growth besides the bone, that the bone is not able to move into the direction that, say, the tension of your body is requiring it. So the tendons and the ligaments start to become tight and tense, and so therefore the bone can't move as easily. So what the body does, it builds up more cells, and in order to grow into the direction of the tension of the body. So if on your knee, as an example, if you are holding yourself in a certain way for long periods of time, do it to how you think, right? So that will maybe cause on one side of the muscle more tension, and on the other side, I mean, like, it's pulling in, and the other side it's more pushing out, and that creates an imbalance. So of the skeleton system. The skeleton system is your, I mean, if you would be stacked perfectly over each bone, over each other, then you would be in absolute strength, because that's what it's made for. But you have muscles to be able to move that. And if the muscles have an input of, well, we have to pull in here and we have to push out there. So it's coming from the nervous system, giving the information to the muscles, and they tighten or they relax. And if you may be stressed out, or if you're afraid, certain things will pull. And that may bring, if that continuously happen and there are no breaks in that over the day, then that will end up as a so-called holding pattern. And that will pull you out of alignment. And so, as I said, it's possible that you bring the person by letting the information and holds it, or that every information that holds it is released. So then the muscle can relax, they are involved, and come back to normal. And then the bone has the option to relearn to stuck over each other, right? So it's a process. And that's what I need to really bring over. It's a process. Even though there is no process required in the informational state, in the state when you have those aha, that's why moments, right? Or, oh, this is what I really have been thinking, and it's not the truth. So when certain elements of information all now come together like puzzle pieces, and you see the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is different than what you thought it was before. So you don't have to hold that belief anymore. So for that, there's no time and space required. So it comes back into oneness, but it will probably have a process to now convey that information and fully and into the other expressions of you, into your beliefs, into your emotions, into your physical body. So you need to allow yourself that when that happened, when like those two puzzle pieces came together in the informational state, beyond your mind, in the bigger mind, if you want to say so. So it's like two substances are coming together. They merge and change together. They become one. Then due to certain laws, this will ripple into the other expressions of you, so your emotional expression, and into your physical expression, as well as the way how you think. In all these expressions, by law, the tricky part seems to be that when we are, how I say, not continuing that new information that you got, and I am very more specific on that information is beyond your small mind thinking, your human mind. That information comes from further away, if you want to say so. That's how I experienced that. And finally, I found some good material where this is confirmed. And it's called the theory of Grundquan whole entity. And it's written by Grandmaster Pang Ming. And it's a foundational work to create the science behind that. Because I do think we need to bring everything together. So don't get me wrong. When I talk about other areas that develop like medical, I am not pushing them all over one comb, right? So there are people behind that. So it's not the people that are causing certain outcomes. So, I mean, applying surgery and cuts and radiation, chemo and medication, it's a concept that the people took on. But I believe fully and completely into every human being, because due to what I'm also now trying to, over the period of a couple of days, to bring over to you, due to that we are alive. We are not dead or inorganic matter. There is something coming through us. It's possible to receive that, and it is possible that the person that has been standing behind a certain theory, due to their own experiences, due to their own growth, due to their own evolution, I trust fully and completely into that, they come to a point and saying, wait a minute, I can't do this anymore. So the problem is not to realize that there's truth to what I'm saying. I think what's happening, it's more difficult, is now to make the changes and to implement that into your life. It took me years in order to make changes, and then you will see how easy it is that you want to fall back to old pattern and behaviors because they are so comfortable, right? So that is more where I'm standing for, where I see that it's not difficult to understand that there are things in life, they are able to make the changes that you want to see. It is way more challenging to have, say, the energy that will be needed to hold that in place. So me personally, I was always wondering, why is that happening? I had those great experiences from, I would say, from above, right? So, but why can't I that implement, and why am I not aware how to do that type of, right? So, yes, there is a lot more. It's so much more complicated in the back because it looks at two things come together and merge, create a new one, a new life. It looks so simple. It's not. That's a more complicated process. But if you know the components to it, if you know the laws to it, you will begin to apply that in your life, and you have the option to create the life of, a real option to create the life that you're capable of because you understand who you are. So, well, just let me back up a little bit. So behind your thought, there's this, maybe the idea, I want that new life. I want that healthier life. I want a more successful life. However, whatever success is defined for you. So you want to experience what you're capable of. That's your highest potential. That is what I'm standing for. So, and that's what I'm also helping in the process, because first of all, it is a process and there are laws behind that. And so you want to understand that this is a formation process. And this exists, there's an energy that, the science calls it the God particle, right? So in this, which is not enough. It can be maybe explained with the particle that can't be divided any further, that created our existence, the whole universe, and creates everything from that. So, and the interesting part is that that particle, when time and space are not more able to be divided even further. So as Max Planck was able to measure the smallest distance in time. So it's even beyond that. So this means that is not discovered yet. That's still in a hidden state. It is not discovered, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There's so many people, they experience that. Look at near-death experience people. Look at people, they had accidents, or they could bring some people out of accidents beyond their possibilities. If you see some videos where you can check this out, find people helping other people, where it's, plainly not physically possible that this person could do that, right? So, there's in every, community, you find at least one example of extraordinary, events that you can rely on and find your own story about it. Those stories are, they are really important. They're like little gems because they give you hope. So I know that a lot of people are also recovered from extreme sicknesses, and they have seen death into the eye, and they returned. And it's physically not possible that in this short amount of time, even though all their organs shut down, they come back to life and recover within, a short amount of time, within weeks and months. So, we need to understand that a little bit. So when time and space are not more able to divide, they actually, become one. They implode into each other, become one. And that is so-called the black holes, what people here say in science. That is where everything is possible, where something can new appear. And it's all the energy is coming from that space, if you want to say so, and that is experienced as a God particle, if you want to say. And now in a hidden state, because of it's energetically forming, something is happening, even though you cannot see that, but something is happening. And there are 4 modes that I found in the theory of one whole entity, 4 modes of motion that are helping then in order to create something new. So like, you may see the bone spur for a while, but there will come a point where this all disappears, and where something new can be formed. And by the way, I encourage you to watch the video. I may be able to place it in the comment box below, where you see within 3 minutes the bladder cancer in real time is solved and changed. And the story is quite stunning behind it, but just take a look. I will place the link below. So, all right, so we have 4 motions, 4 modes of motions that is in a hidden state starting to be created. And it requires your practice to keep that state going. So let me just introduce you to those 4 modes. They're open and close, which are the fundamental movement. Like death and birth is exactly this movement. So it's opening or closing, right? So, and then we have gathering and expanding. And then we have go in or go out and come in. And then we have the change and transform motion. So those are the change and transform motion is the more critical one, where this all starts to change, right? So, but knowing there are certain types of motion that is required in order to bring that process of transformation, of change to you as a physical experience, as an emotional experience, as a belief experience, then we will need to look at this. So it's all in an energetic state. This is hidden. We can't see that. But if I imagine that more like a carpet of transparent gel, right? So suddenly something opens in that gel where all the information is within. The information state is that starts that motion. So when the information is correct, say there's a new life coming in, right? So, well, that starts in that pure information state and starts that jelly, transparent jelly material, if you want to say so, to be activated and create the motion. And so if you are want to open something, want to start something, is first you start to open it, right? So the same as if you go on vacation and you have locked up your house for 6 months, and you come home. Usually what happens is you will start to say, it's a little bit stale here, right? So what do? You open first the windows. So you open like the outside, the skin of the house, if you want to say so. So you open that, and then the information and this jelly-like substance, if you want to say so, can move in, which is air, right? So you can see the air, but it's coming in, and it does something, and you will have an experience with it. It will start to smell different due to the gathering and the expanding of or gathering and expanding of the air in the room. And for this example, and the same happens when something new wants to be created. So that needs to come in. So we need to open up something, and then that new information needs to come in and needs to be gathered and start to do something within, right? And then it starts to overflow, so to go out or to come in, so that it has now an exchange with the other rooms, if you want to say so, or with the outside of the air in the house, right? So the outside air and the inside air are now all the same, so it's overflowing, it's abundant. And then there's a possibility of, if that change happens, that you are able to set on an energetic level, you set the boundaries or the beginning of that transformational state. And again, you need to recognize on an energetic level, before it comes even into existence in forms and shapes, that already happened, right? So that's already at the state where we are not looking at, if you want to say so. So I'm really grateful for that information, and that can be trained. So that's good news, right? So again, so we have open and close as the basis of all other, because without opening, all the other movements can't happen. Or with closing, it cannot happening. So we have then the gather and expand movement, so inwards of, gathering inwards of every compound that is in that process connected. And then you have the expanding between those compounds of that energy. So that is, if you want to say so, you're forming somethingness out of nothingness, so to speak, or you transform somethingness into nothingness. So I'm very adamant on saying nothingness, that this is not a nothingness, but we don't have measurements, or we don't have a way of experiencing that. So it's not possible in the universe as an absolute nothingness. Out of nothingness, no form and shape can happen. So, but that's how I see it. So, and it may change, right? So if I understand it better and better, then that definitely helps me to understand how is it possible that we are able to create an immediate change in healing, which I experienced. So that's why I'm saying I'm trying to recover the process that has happened and become conscious about it. And I'm sharing that with you, and I hope you can take it and take it to your own use. Test it out. I did definitely test things out, so I'm with you on board with that. And then we have the go out, so that there's an overflow of that jelly-like substance, if you want to say so, that's pure and very even, so that there's an overflow then on this ore is coming in, so it's turning inward. So those are motions I was before not aware that they are existing in an energetic state before things are coming into existence. That is a really important point, because when you hold your mind to it, so to speak, so you stay with it, whatever you know is correct, you stay with it, there will be in this process, if you stay on it, there will be a transformation on an energetic level happening that is causing all the forms and shapes also to line up. It's a kind of, I would say, chain event. So if you stay with what you know is true, then you are creating a chain reaction as a proof that this information you're holding is now represented as the way how you think, the way how you feel, and the way how you shaped. And anything can be changed. And that's the interesting part as well. So on a physical level, because that we are capable through our conscious ability, we are capable of moving that energy, that life force energy. This is not possible for inorganic matter. So, and I mean, it seems as a proof to that. If you see that an atom has electrons, right? So, and they are moving freely in and out, and they don't make those changes as if you're using a conscious being that is able to gather things in and to open things up. So therefore, that can be good helpers, but the power is in obviously in something living that has a consciousness. So we are very special in that way. And you need to see that. You as a human being, you are extremely special in the whole universe due to this ability of moving, opening up, of gathering that life force energy that is it's the information of the smallest particle that we are capable of accessing, and pull that in and pull it towards it you are wanting in life. So I think we are going tomorrow more into how this would look in the physical, like in all the forms and all existences. And talk to you then tomorrow. I know it's a little bit an intense theme, but as more as we grasp that, then we can take this into practice. And I do encourage you to pick up, without maybe fully understanding that yet, pick up Sin Yang Qigong level 1 practice. Because all those movements are already included and you don't have to understand them in order to apply them. So you can already start the movements to start your process. And it starts with putting your intention, holding your intention, holding what's true to you, and then do the practice in order to bring that life force energy to it, the information to it. All right, so I hope you like it. So and want to test it out, go on my, if you want to know about more of this practice, and go on my website truebetteryou.com and find under Sin Yang Qigong more information. You also can learn it, and I will be able to place a video underneath, but it's also on that page. So if you want to go on that page, yeah, feel free. and start to practice. You can learn it completely. I have a course that is not very complicated to learn, and then you can join and practice with us. So this is what I am doing. It's my lifestyle. It's my way of living to recoup all the information that I have experienced growing up. And one of them, I'm really adamant on it. Sending Qigong is a great tool. You don't have to if you have your own tool. Totally cool. It's that educational part and the practice are just nicely interwoven with each other. So I do enjoy that practice since 2008. All right. Talk to you soon tomorrow. Bye-bye.